Welcome to Chapter 1 of our series, Your First Automation in 48 Hours. In this episode, titled The Automation Eye, 3 Types of Tasks You Should Never Do Manually, we're going to explore the repetitive tasks that are begging for a little automation magic. By the end of our chat, you'll be ready to identify which of your daily chores can be streamlined, saving you time and effort. So, let's dive in. Right now, in your workday, there's a task you do so often you could almost do it half asleep. Yet, a bot could do it faster, cheaper, and with fewer mistakes. The paradox is this: the work you're most used to doing manually is probably the work you should never touch again. Think about the last time your day disappeared into just keeping up, copying numbers between tools, refreshing dashboards, nudging a report along a fixed path. None of it was hard, but together it quietly hijacked your focus. That's the hidden tax of manual work in modern jobs. Not dramatic disasters, just constant micro-drains of attention that stop you doing the work only you can do. Developing an automation eye is how you stop paying that tax. It's not about coding or buying expensive platforms. It's about noticing patterns in what you already do. In this episode, we'll zoom in on 3 specific kinds of tasks that almost never deserve your hands-on time. As you listen, treat your own workload like a spreadsheet you're auditing. Where are the formulas you repeat by hand, over and over, when they could be running themselves in the background instead? Here's the twist: the work most ripe for automation rarely announces itself. It shows up as quick favors, just this once tasks, and 2-minute updates that quietly multiply. A status tweak here, a copy-paste there, like financial subscription charges you forgot you signed up for. They nibble away at your time until your whole day is spoken for. To spot them, zoom in on 3 signals: tasks you dread because they're boring, tasks you can easily describe as step-by-step instructions, and tasks where a small mistake could snowball into a big problem later. That's where automation usually pays off fastest. Let's break those 3 never manual categories into something you can actually spot in your own day. First, high-volume, low-value data shuffling. Think about any time you're moving information between tools, updating CRMs after calls, pasting numbers from exports into slide decks, renaming and filing downloaded reports. None of this changes the information. You're just acting as a human bridge between systems. That's exactly where software is both faster and more accurate. IEEE research puts human data entry errors at roughly 1 in 300 keystrokes. Fine for small jobs, disastrous at scale. RPA tools routinely push that error rate close to 0 across tens of thousands of records. In practice, that's fewer wrong customer, wrong date, or wrong amount moments you'll have to fix later. Second, routine monitoring and notification. Anywhere you find yourself just checking is a candidate. Refreshing dashboards, confirming backups completed, scanning inboxes for a specific type of message, watching for a file to arrive in a shared folder. These checks feel tiny, but they splinter your attention. Modern tools can watch for thresholds, patterns, or simple events, and then ping the right people automatically. Operations teams do this with alerting systems. Product teams use it for feature usage. Finance uses it for unusual transactions. The same principle applies at an individual level. You shouldn't be the sensor, you should be the responder. Third, fixed sequence workflows on a schedule. Anywhere the same steps happen in the same order at predictable times is prime territory. Nightly reconciliations, end-of-week report packs, month-end exports, weekly status compilations. If the path is always A, then B, then C, you're looking at an automation lane. McKinsey's finding that 60% of jobs contain at least 30% automatable activities comes largely from chains like these. Companies that embrace RPA in such areas see payback in under a year, which is why 78% are doubling down on it. If you cook, you already know this logic. No chef decides to chop every herb to order when a prep cook can batch it ahead of service. Your goal is similar: shift from chopping all day to actually designing the menu. Think of 3 real situations where your automation eye could earn its keep. First, marketing ops at a mid-sized SaaS company. Every webinar, someone used to export attendee lists from Zoom, clean them in Excel, then import them into the CRM. Once they mapped fields and set a trigger, the whole flow ran behind the scenes. The visible win wasn't just time, it was the sudden absence of awkward, "you weren't actually on that webinar" emails. Second, a small IT team watching for server disk space issues. Instead of manually logging in each morning, they wired a simple rule. When space drops below X%, send a Slack alert. Incidents didn't disappear, but the 3 a.m. surprises did. Third, a finance manager closing the month. Previously, she'd hunt down 4 different reports from 4 systems every time. By chaining export, store, notify into one click, she turned an afternoon ritual into a quick review job, freeing her to ask, "What is this data actually telling us?" instead of, "Where did I put that file?" As automation deepens, done by hand will quietly become a luxury choice, not the default. Workflows will resemble well-run kitchens. Prep, timing, and plating coordinated so attention lands on the guest, not the chopping board. Expect performance reviews to weigh how well you orchestrate systems, not just how hard you grind. The upside? Careers tilt toward diagnosis, design, and storytelling with data, while the grunt layer increasingly belongs to your digital support crew. Your challenge this week: pick one tiny, annoying chore and treat it like a prototype. Document how often it hits, how long it steals, and what good looks like if a bot did it instead. By next week, your goal isn't to have it fully automated, it's to have one concrete candidate ready to test, refine, or hand to a builder. This was Owl Up, your daily step forward. To keep learning with structured courses and more insights, go to owlup.co. Until tomorrow!